Hey, how's it going, and welcome to Whisky Whims with me, Stuart. This week we've got a slightly different video angle that I've just decided to try out, a little bit closer, a little bit more intimate. So today we've got House of McCallum's McPink. It's the Art of Whisky. It's got, I think it's Mary Queen of Scots, Mary Queen of Scots, yeah, on the front. I should know that from my Scottish history. But yeah, 43.5% ABV. This only cost me £30. It is a blended Scotch whisky, so it's a blend of malt and grain, and it's finished in Port Casks. You can see the colour. I'm not sure if you can see at the bottom there. I'm not sure if that'll show, but it has kind of settled at the bottom, a little bit of cask sediment, which is good to see. That makes me think that it's not chill filtered. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know if you can see that swirling around there. I'm not sure what you call that. If you just, would it be, I don't know, just sediment? But yeah, you can see it there anyway, and as I shake it up, it's slowly getting diluted by the whiskey. So yeah, like I said, £30 it cost me. I don't know if it says about chill filter, and I can't remember if it came, in fact, sorry, it says on the box, unchill filtered and natural colouring. So that's good, but that's what that kind of cloudiness represented to me anyway. I can't remember if this came in a box. It might have not. So I read online, and it said 40% of the blend is malt whiskey. So would that mean that the other 60% is grain or whatever? But anyway, we'll get down to the reviewing that. And if you're new here, how I do things is I rate my whiskies on 3 characters. Would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth the price? And would I recommend it? If it gets 2 out of 3 of these, it's a Whisky Win. And if it only gets 1 out of 3 or lower, then it's a Whisky Bin. So hopefully this is a Whisky Win, but we'll find out. We'll get right down to the nose, the palate, and yeah, but before I start as well, I just want to shout out my Patreons. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for supporting me through Patreon. I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your contributions. And if you want to join my Patreon, the link's in the bio. Exclusive content such as new bottles purchased, early access, and first look at whiskies that I initially open. So yeah, we'll get down to this now that I've plugged everything. It's not an offensive nose. It's very soft. It's fruity, red fruits, strawberry laces in particular, very sweet. It's got such a lovely kind of pink hue to it, and it's weird because it's only finished in port, but this could trick you into thinking it's been fully matured in port, because I think the port's quite evident, quite rich. There's a plum jam, a little bit of something like, I want to say, quite ripe banana, or banana that's got like black spots on it, like a really yeah, like a really over ripened banana. So it's not just green, it's not yellow, it's got a lot of black spots on it, and I feel like I can smell that for some reason. So there's banana there. It's quite a fruity whiskey, but I feel like this is all coming from the port. I don't know if I've had banana from port before, but there is one thing that I think's missing. I don't think there's much character in the sense of trying to pick out a distillery or try to pick out distilleries. Obviously it's a blend, all these things kind of marrying together, and it's not disruptive or anything like that. It is quite cohesive, but there's no particular distillery traits to this. It's just a whiskey finished in port on the nose so far. Yeah, we'll go for the I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the nose. The nose is quite, like I said, the defining character there's this strawberry laces. It's very dominant. I don't think there's much else on the nose. Maybe a little bit, as I swing it back and forth to my nose, trying not to spill it. There's maybe a little bit of chocolate or something there to go along with that banana, like a chocolate banana. But it's quite tame in the nose, nothing too complex really. It's not overly complex in the nose. It's just, it's nice, it's approachable. It's a beginner's whiskey almost on the nose. You could you should pick this up as a beginner, and you really not be offended by it. It shouldn't put you off whiskey. It's not harsh or anything on the nose. Like, this is a lovely smell, but it's just not that complex. Anyway, the palate. Yeah, the one word I describe this whiskey with is quaffable. It's so easy to drink, and like I said, definitely a beginner's whiskey. If this was if this was a whiskey that I first started with, this would definitely get me into the world of whiskey. On the palate, quince jelly. There's a lot of kind of gummy fruits. I tend to go to wine gums, but now I want to say like midget gems. I know they're pretty much similar, but midget gems is slightly different. But yeah, like a gummy, fruity, sweet, like midget gems, like wine gums. There is a bit of winery aspect here to this, a little kind of maybe rosé wine or something like that. I think rosé wine's quite sweet, quite soft. I don't drink a lot of wine, but I have had rosé wine recently, just trying to expand my palate, expand my horizons, but I still don't enjoy it that much. But yeah, a little bit of rosé wine feel to it. Like I said, the port isn't necessarily pungent in the palate or as evident in the nose, but it's quaffable. It's so easily drinkable. It's nothing offensive, and it is just nice. It's just a nice whiskey. There's no denying it. And for £30, it's quite extraordinary that you could just pick this up, and it's presented so well. Non-chill filtered, no added colouring. Although it's a blend, I don't know why I keep saying although it's a blend. I just think some people get put off by blends, but this is it's a fantastic example of how blends should be done. No age, obviously, that's maybe the only criticism I've got, that it's not got an age on it, and there's not a lot of details of what whiskies have been used. That would have been quite cool to see, what malt whiskies, what grain whiskies have been used. But other than that, a quaffable, approachable dram, really. The mouthfeel as well, yeah, it does coat the mouth. It's like you've eaten a huge pack of midget gems or something, and they're like all melted in your mouth, and you've got the oily fruitiness from the midget gems in your mouth. That's how it coats it. I think the finish is probably it's probably medium. It's not bad. There's a bit of wood there, a bit of oak, which is a little bit of a shame, because I feel like there's not a lot of character coming through in the finish, not a lot of qualities other than the kind of the oak, the wood, the port. It's quite consistent throughout that theme, that there's not really character. It's just a lot of cask. It's very cask driven, very cask dominant. Maybe the banana, I'm not sure if I've had banana in port before, maybe that's kind of something that I could say came from one of the whiskies or something. But the finish is medium, like I said, oak. There's a little bit of strawberries dipped in, I don't know, like a spice like cinnamon or something, or nutmeg or something like that. Just I don't know why I'm being so specific, but yeah, like a strawberry just dipped, or a little coating of cinnamon over the top. It's quite pleasant, quite enjoyable. So we'll get down to the rating of the whiskey. Like I said, it's not a very complex whiskey, very consistent, but it's quaffable, and I am able to drink this quite over and over again. I know I've maybe only had about a third, not even a third, maybe a quarter out of it, maybe even less. But I've enjoyed this. I had it first at a whiskey festival, and I thought how good it was, and I knew I had to get a bottle. So would I buy it again? I don't think I would. I've had it, and like I said, it is quaffable, it is drinkable, it is nice, it's enjoyable, but I am looking for something more complex, something with a little bit more depth to it, a little bit of edge, or a little bit of complexity. This is perfect for someone just getting into whiskey, for a new drinker. For me, the expert, the Merlin. No, for me it's a little past with what I'm looking at, but it's still good to go back to experience whiskies that you might have just started with. It's good to kind of reminisce about first getting back into whiskey, and this is something that whiskey's great at, invoking memories, and this kind of does that for me. It takes me back to my first whiskies, first trying whiskies, and it's sentimental. But I wouldn't buy it again. Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, 100%. At £30, it's a steal. Like I said, non-chill filtered, no added colouring. That is great at £30. I know it's a blend, I know it's not got an age, but it's still a great, tasty whiskey at that price. And would I recommend it? I definitely would recommend it. It's worth trying. It's worth exploring, even though if you're an avid kind of experienced whiskey drinker, it's still worth trying this to understand how how well presented it is and how affordable it is. And it's good to see House of McCallum pioneering a core range or easy, accessible, affordable whiskey for new whiskey drinkers, for novice whiskey drinkers. And that's the way I see this. This is a novice drink, or novice for novice drinkers. I keep rambling on. So I wouldn't buy it again. I think it's worth it, and I definitely recommend it. So it's a Whisky Win. We'll put that Whisky Win coin on top so we know what we've got. So we've got a Whisky Win. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I maybe rambled on a little bit much. But yeah, thanks for watching. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Whims. I'll see you later.